Inzamam was injured. He fractured his ring finger of his right hand. He's out of this match and may well be out of the triangular tournament. So back into the team came Saeed Anwar, who of course has scored a century in international one-day cricket. So he's a useful player, but does certainly make a big difference to the side. Great bowling lineup of Waqar Younis, Wasim Akram, Mushtaq Ahmed and Aqib Javed. But let's have a look at the South African team. Necessitated one major change. Wicketkeeper Dave Richardson, a strained groin. So in comes a very talented cricketer and rugby player, Errol Stewart. Wasim Akram won the toss for Pakistan and he decided to bat. Was very pleased about that. And we pick up the game with Villiers bowling the first delivery of the second over.
With his very first delivery. Joy for the South Africans early on.
Pakistan 29 for 2, deciding to bat Wasim Akram on this pitch. And they've lost 2 quick wickets, but Malik and Miandad, the 2 most experienced Pakistani batsmen here for this series, helping to restore some respectability.
So Merrick Pringle armed with a different ball now. Is he caught? He is quite brilliantly caught by Dave Callahan, his second catch in the match. And for a moment, Salim Malik just stood there. I thought he was not going to walk because he wasn't satisfied the catch had been taken, but I think he was so stunned at the brilliance of the catch.
Flicking it off the legs in the air, and another wonderful catch being taken by Callahan, reminiscent of the Macmillan catch. You're right, Malik stood in disbelief. Absolutely magnificent catch by Callahan, and difficulties now, real difficulties for Pakistan, 29 for 3.
As he does get away, Jonty Rhodes is after it. It's a race between him and the ball. Inevitably he wins it, but they're going to go back for the third and they're going to have to hurry. Oh my goodness me, Brian McMillan dropped the ball, and I think Miandad would have been run out if he'd have caught that. A brilliant bit of fielding again by Jonty Rhodes, and McMillan a grave error there. Miandad out would have been something special for South Africa.
Superb acceleration at this point from Jonty Rhodes, and the throw extremely accurate.
See, Miandad is late to start there. He would have been run out by a mile if McMillan had gathered the ball at the bowler's end.
Slashed away and going for 4. So 4 to Miandad.
Magnificent square drive from Javed Miandad there. Little bit of width, 1 knee, 4.
Unusual for an international ground, this Buffalo Park, in that it is surrounded by so much grass. There's a large embankment. That's hit very well. He really has got hold of that. That's gone. That's 6.
Mujtaba quick to get onto anything short. And he middled that.
That's exactly what I had in mind.
That's a huge hit. 6 runs. And Brian McMillan's day of misery continues. Right in. Caught. Came down the wicket of De Villiers there, tried to give himself room to hit over the head of Kepler Wessels. Had extra cover, but hit it straight down his throat. at the end of a splendid innings from Asif Mujtaba.
He had no option. He was being frustrated by that superb ground fielding. He saw all through this over, and he had to go take the aerial route. But what a great innings this has been from him. Well played.
His fourth 50 in limited over international cricket. His highest score ever, beating the 60 not out he made against Australia in Perth. And the important thing about that innings is it came from less than 100 balls. He's 74. Just look at that for a shot. 4 of the most glorious runs you ever hope to see.
Unbelievable, Trevor. This is what I was telling you about. When you see the master at work, these shots are not in the textbook.
That was quite beautifully played of one of the world's great fast bowlers. Look how he stepped away with that left leg of his to give himself room, and he improvised the shot. It was far too full really to play this shorter shot. Oh, but he opened the face of the bat, and that was a delight to watch. And that will be his 100.
Well, Javed.
And I do hope that this border crowd, and believe me, they should be on their feet, because they have witnessed a magnificent innings from the little Pakistani master, and certainly his teammates do appreciate it.
I go further, Trevor. It's been a privilege, really, not only for all those watching him, but even for people like yourself and myself, to watch an innings like this.
And it's been a marvellous innings. Miandad opens his shoulders and hits Fani de Villiers for a huge 6. Fani de Villiers with the last ball, and it was a full toss that he didn't get hold of it really. They're going to go for a second anyway. It'll be disappointing if Miandad is run out, which he is, but he had to go and hope that the return would not be good from Hansie Cronje. It was good, and Errol Stewart whipped off the bails, and a pity that Javed Miandad should lose his wicket off the very last ball, but all in the cause of his side, hoping for that one extra precious run, but it wasn't to be. Hansie Cronje with a good bit of fielding, and Javed Miandad run out by a mile. But what an innings.
Let's have a look at the Pakistan scorecard. 107 for Miandad and 74 for Mujtaba, taking Pakistan to 214 for 6 of 50 overs.
Andrew Hudson, who made, of course, 93 against the same side in Kingsmead and Durban, the first match of the total international series. Before that, when the Indians were here, he made 108. Those are the two best performances by a South African in limited overs internationals. He's bowled him. Wasim Akram has bowled Andrew Hudson, and that's a major setback for South Africa. And the Pakistanis will know that that's the one they really wanted. He's a good stroke maker. So still 163 wanted, and the rate going up at the end of each over. 6.26 now is the asking rate. And although South Africa has 9 wickets in hand, it's going to be very tough. From Bunkers Hill end, Akib Javed to Wessels, and that's 4 runs. Well up to Kepler Wessels. It was wide outside the off stump. It gave him the width to be able to go through with the shot, hit it over the inner ring. There's nobody on the boundary, and the first boundary of the innings. And he goes at it again. He's hit this very hard, high and handsome over the scoreboard. A huge 6 from Hansie Cronje.
Khawaja was not on the ropes. In fact, he was standing inside about 5 yards, and had he been on the ropes, it might have been a catch. So Mushtaq comes back, and there's a quick single, and he's out, run out. So Pakistan get a little luck that they needed just at that stage. A little bit slow in taking off, Kepler Vessels. He might have made it had he gone quickly.
See if we can spot any hesitation here. He's called it. Didn't hit the ball, I don't think. Way out.
That's a dolly catch. Completely deceived by the lack of pace in that delivery, and he just popped it up to Shoaib, and the spectators just can't believe it. It seems such a lollipop delivery. And just missing it. He lost it, dived forward and couldn't make the catch, and it goes for 4. Saeed Anwar, who's had a lot of work to do out in that position, just seemed to have lost it in flight.
Looking into the evening sun, and then has to make the decision, do I try and catch this, or are runs the priority? He tried to catch it, missed it, and Cronje goes on to 49.
So a good half century by Hansie Cronje. 2 sixes. He's been the one who has given South Africa the platform from which they can approach this very difficult target. Good half century. Oh, Jonty Rhodes has got hold of this one. Another boundary. So things begin to pick up once more for South Africa.
And that's 4 runs. 6, in fact. He did very well to almost dig that one out, because it didn't bounce up very high, and he really slammed that over the boundary rope. And that's exactly what South Africa needed in this over. Beautifully played, a glorious shot by Hansie Cronje through the covers, hitting Waka Yunus on the up. That was a classical cover drive from Hansie Cronje, and a big shot off the last ball of Waka's over.
Quality, stroke of the day. Stood up, determination on his face, watched it right onto the blade of the bat.
This has been a princely innings from Hansie Cronje, and it's now reduced the requirement to 25 at 5 per over. Oh, and he's bowled him. Very good over from Wasim Akram, ends with the wicket of Jonty Rhodes. I think he was trying to force that maybe just across the line, trying to find a gap, and he missed it. Bowled, hit the off stump. Dave Callaghan out, first ball, trying an ambitious drive on the up.
Waka Yunus, in swinger, does it again.
Wasim Akram to Errol Stewart. He's caught behind by wicketkeeper Latif. Just pushed forward, found the outside edge. Or was he trying to run it down to third man? The slow motion will tell us. But whatever, Errol Stewart is out for 1.
Pushed a long way forward. It looked like he might have wanted to guide it to third man.
Well, we all think back to that unbelievable collapse against the bowling of Waqar Younis, in particular at Kingsmead in Durban, when South Africa lost by 10 runs. Field for LBW, and he's gone. McMillan has gone. LBW to Wasim Akram. And the two great Pakistani fast bowlers are once again doing it for Pakistan. High fives all round.
Round the wicket, straight delivery. McMillan gets across to play it on the onside. It's in his crease. It's not forward at all.
So difficult to come in and start improvising with shots into gaps and so on when you've just come to the wicket. You haven't had a chance to see it. That's what makes it all so dramatic.
Just to remind you that that is the situation. 15 runs to win, 13 balls remaining. Should the scores be tied, the game is a tie. Wickets do not come into it.
Oh, there's going to be a run out here this time. Oh dear, 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 dear me. Salim Malik kept his cool there, kept his head, and Hansie Cronje was stranded by a mile. There wasn't a run really in that. Look at the hesitation from both of them. Not out, says umpire Diedrichs for the LBW appeal, but Malik swoops on it, and instead of having a throw, he just runs to the wicket and removes the bowls, and that was silly and could cost South Africa the match.
Absolutely ridiculous, this. Pringle must go now at this stage and try and get past him, because someone's obviously going to be out.
Yeah, there were two silly things there. One, the run wasn't on, and when Hansie Cronje or Merrick realised there was going to be a run out, he should have sacrificed his wicket. Magnificent innings though by Hansie Cronje. 81 from just 70 balls with 3 4s and 2 6s. And how disappointed he will be if South Africa does not win this, because he's taken them so close to victory. 10 wanted for victory. He swings this time now. There could be another run out. It will be. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, we saw absolute panic when Waqar Younis was knocking back their stumps, and we had 2 ridiculous run-outs in that occasion, and here suddenly the panic has set in again.
You know, there's an adage that no one run is worth a run-out, but this is just suicide. I don't know why he threw it. He might have missed.
South Africa, for the second time in this total international series, have lost to Pakistan in dramatic style, just when it looked as though they were going to win. And here, a full toss, that's what it was. He was trying for the one in the block hole. It was too full, and it crashed into the stumps on the full. All too good for Donald, and South Africa have lost by 10 runs, indeed by 9 runs on this occasion. It was 10 runs in Durban.